Well, I'm back for another evaluation. Bob's off goofing off. Daryl's off goofing off. I wish I was off goofing off. Not really. Guns are cool. All right, so today we're going to bench evaluate the Smith & Wesson M&P Shield. There are some things I like and some things I don't like, as is every gun. This one came to us with 2 magazines. One is the standard flush-mounted style. A neat feature is this one with the extension here on the bottom. So you can get your bottom finger on there, just FYI. Personal preference, I like the way the gun feels in my hand, either with or without the magazine. I like the size of it. I like the way it feels. I like the fact it's thin. Small little gun. Those are all personal preference. Please take it with a grain of salt. With that being said, let's move on to a couple other things. The magazine catch. Since the magazines are steel, we want our magazine catch to be steel. And it is. Good job. We want steel rubbing on steel. Plastic magazine catches with steel magazines don't hold up well at all. The gun has a loaded chamber indicator, and if they're fitted up correctly, not a bad thing. And this one is fitted up correctly. Here's my 3 dummies. And the 4th dummy's behind the camera. Nope, just kidding. Just kidding. Relax. All right, seriously. Have a dummy in there. Loaded. So you can see that it's loaded chamber indicator. Says it right on the top. Big letters. Red on both sides. You can feel it. All well and good. The bad thing is usually, not always, but usually when gun companies incorporate some sort of a loaded chamber indicator like this, when the gun cycles, comes back, drops down out of lockup, the loaded chamber indicator is still resting on the cartridge case. So, slide accelerates to the rear, loaded chamber indicator is on top of the case, the barrel moves back and down. Shell is in the barrel, so the shell moves back and down on the breech face. Our extractor is held with its spring in next to the rim. So as the shell clears the barrel, anything that's pushing on the case can now push it in whichever direction. In this instance, if the loaded chamber indicator on top of the gun is resting on the case when it clears the end of the chamber, it can push down because it's got a spring. Usually the inertia, the moment of mass, the amount of material it has makes it want to snap down. So it's trying to push the case off of the breech face. The extractor, if it's designed correctly, holds the cartridge case up on the breech face. So again, if they're not correct, they're trying to throw that shell off the breech face. So it hits the next round in the magazine and doesn't hit the ejector quite right, or doesn't hit the ejector right at all, causes a jam. That's the bottom line. Causes a jam if they're not right. This one's right. So as the slide comes back, the barrel drops down, loaded chamber indicator drops down to that position, the cartridge case is in there, the loaded chamber indicator is no longer pushing on the cartridge case, so it doesn't interfere with extraction and ejection at all. Great. Great. Good job on that. So I like that. The gun does have a manual safety right there, and it works well. It's slim. These don't stick out a lot, so they get hung up on something in your clothing. And I can manipulate that with my thumb. Not everybody could. Again, personal preference. So gun is loaded, cocked, but our trigger doesn't pull unless we have a magazine in it. And the safety's off. So let's try that again, Ken. Safety off. We can pull our trigger. Take the magazine out. We can pull the trigger, but nothing happens. Has a magazine safety disconnector. That's a no-no. I don't like them. I want the gun to function and fire when I pull the trigger. If the magazine's out, it ain't going to fire. Don't like them. So let's take it apart. Oh, I forgot. This one has the little lever in here, which actually is kind of a neat feature. I have had the gun apart. Another thing that I do like about this is when you knock out the various pins, it just comes apart. No special tools. It's not real complicated. It comes apart easily, and I like that. I like a gun that's easy to come apart, easy to go back together, because I'm fixing them. That's what I'm doing. I don't want to spend 30 minutes just trying to take it apart to spend 2 minutes fixing something and then another 30 minutes to put it back together. I like it when it's 2 minutes to take it apart, 30 minutes to fix it, because then you get to charge more. just kidding. I don't like a gun that's really super complicated or difficult to take apart, and this one is simple. It's pretty basic as far as how it works. Inside the trigger spring is the Smith & Wesson fuzz, and I'm going to call it that probably from now on, the Smith & Wesson fuzz. Looks like it's a piece of a Q-tip inside that spring. It's a spring dampener. I know what it's there for, to keep the spring from vibrating. I hate the fact that they've got it in there. If they feel they need it in there, then something's wrong with the spring. And I don't like that. Don't like the magazine disconnect. Magazine catches steel. Pretty basic. Got steel rails, all well and good. Snap out the recoil lug. Our ramp is a straight plane from here to here. That's a good thing. Headspace is pretty tight. Headspace is good and fairly tight. Not a problem. The fire control is relatively conventional. The belly of our slide is straight from here to here, and it's level with the bottom of the slide. It's not high here, tapering down to lower down here. That's a good thing, because as this is sitting in the gun, when it cycles back, if the shells are up, which they will be, when the slide moves back, if our breech face is lower here, sitting like so, when that cycles back, it shoves the shells down in the magazine. Doesn't take much, just a little bit. So when that slide accelerates to the rear, like when you shoot it, bang, the slide slams back, it throws the shells or adds to the amount of surge those shells have in the magazine. They want to surge down, or they're forced down in the magazine. That's a bad thing. This gun doesn't have it. A lot of your newer ones have that. So that's a good thing. That's a plus. The extractor is positive this way, positive there. Basically neutral in this position. It actually looks negative. That's just the way the camera is. The extractor is fairly well designed. So where the pivot point is, we've got a lot of mass, or a fair enough amount of mass, to the right. Now, it's not as good as some, but it's definitely not as bad as some either. It's passable, and in a good way passable. It's not right on the edge where you're like, it will work. The big thing I don't like about the extractor is it does not snap over a round dropped in the magazine or dropped into the chamber. If you close that slide, it stubs, chunk, and not part way or a little. It just bang, stubs big time. Don't like that at all. We've got good lockup, and we've got a little bit of loose breech, just a little bit, not a ton. So all in all, I like the gun. I don't know if they make a model that does not have the magazine disconnect, because I'll be honest, at this point I would not buy one simply if it had a magazine disconnect. I would not. It would have to have that magazine disconnect removed. Then I would have to do a little bit of work on that extractor. See that? Did not snap over. I'll do it again. Whoop, whoop. The shell flopped out that time. Slide sticking back because the extractor's on the back of the cartridge case. Actually, it dug in that time. I'll show you that. Look at here. It actually pushed the rim forward. So the face of that extractor is wrong. It should be beveled to where when you drop it, it hits an inclined, the rim of the case hits an inclined plane, forces the extractor out, and it snaps over. So that is wrong. Easy to fix. Don't misunderstand. That's a simple fix. A couple swipes of the file and polish it, you're done. So that's an easy fix. But for me personally, the magazine disconnect is a deal breaker. There are other guns out there that don't have that. So anyway, all in all, I like the gun. It's just got a couple deal breakers for me personally, but that's a personal preference. Don't let my personal likes, dislikes change how you behave. Take the mechanical aspects of things and run with that. I'm Ken, and we'll see you next time. Maybe I'll have somebody with me next time. You never know. We'll see you later. Be safe.